Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Radhi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagara Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Samadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saranarita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Ditapantu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome all to today's class on Bhagavad Gita. So we are in chapter 9, and till now we saw how Krishna says that I am giving this knowledge to you because you are non-envious and you uh, are my friend. So, knowledge of bhakti, engagement of Krishna can be done by person who is non-envious. And then he describes the eight characteristics of knowledge of pure bhakti. And then he says that how a faithless person cannot attain Krishna. And then he speaks about how he maintains the material world by his different energies. Uh, and then he says how this creation and destruction of material worlds happen by his energy. And it is a periodical thing which happens every time. And it describes about the different type of worshippers, that how uh, they worship. And there are like Ekatvena, Pretakwena, Vishwatomukham, we saw last night. Somebody thinks that somebody sees God in himself, somebody sees God in diversity, and somebody sees God in the universal form. And in this way, they worship. And now uh, we'll see how we can see Krishna is all pervading and ultimate shelter of and cause of all causes. So this theme we'll see now. So we'll see this verse number 17. पिताहं यस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामह वेद्यं पवित्रम ओमकार ऋक्साम यजुर एव च. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sam, and the Yajurved. So in this, Krishna says that he's the father of universe. So that means everything has come from him, and also the mother also is Krishna, and he also supports. So he's maintained also. So not only just he give birth, but he also maintains this whole universe, and he may come directly for his pure devotees, and other times he sends his he does this to his different energies. So we see like this Vayudev, Agnidev, and all they're like his different energies which are working to make this world a better place to stay. And then he is the object of knowledge. So by all means, he is to be known. So he is the main object of knowledge. And also he is the purifier. So he purifies everything. And also he is this level Om. And therefore we chant Om so many times. And he is also the Rig, Sam, and Yajur Vedas. So what does it signify is How we can remember him? By seeing all these things. That is what is important here. Purport: the entire cosmic manifestation is moving and non-moving are manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy under creation of Prakriti. Some of them appear as a father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually, they are parts and parcels of Krishna. So, in this world, we have parents and so many things. So, uh, actually, they are also coming from Krishna. So, ultimately, Krishna is our parent, and from him everything comes. So, the highest understanding of Krishna consciousness is to see each and every living entity as part and parcel of Krishna, to see how Krishna is sitting as Paramatma in the heart of each and every living entity. And when we develop that respect and that attitude, that will be the best understanding of Krishna consciousness. So, as such, the living entities who appear to be father, brother, etc., are nothing but Krishna. I think, Raja Prabhu, you are drawing something on my screen. Can you just check? Some green lines are coming. In this verse, the word dhata means creator. Not only are our father and mother parts and parcel of Krishna, but the creator, grandfather, and grandmother, etc., are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. All the Vedas, therefore, aim only towards Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step towards understanding Krishna. That subject matter which helps us purify our consciousness position, especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and parcel of Krishna, and as such is also Krishna. So, is also Krishna means is Krishna's energy, and by which we can remember Krishna. See, nobody can be God, but all can be representative of God. So, how this is how we understand these sentences. So in all the Vedic mantras, the word Om called Pranava is the transcendental sound vibration and is also Krishna. And because the Pranava or Omkara is very prominent in all the hymns of four Vedas, Sam, Yajur, Rik, Atharva, they are also understood to be Krishna. So in this way, we can understand that Krishna is pervading through all these different things, directly or through his energies, and therefore we should understand that how we can see Krishna in everything. Next shloka also says same. Gatir Bharata Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surat Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed. So, the goal of a life is to attain Krishna and to go in one of his abodes and to have some relationship with him in one of the different bhavas. And he is also the sustainer. He is only sustaining us. If we see in this material world, the way we are sustained, it is actually very difficult. If we see anybody living entity, he needs air to sustain, he needs water to sustain, he needs sunlight to sustain, he needs food to sustain, he needs clothing, shelter, and so many things to sustain. And if any one thing changes, then we are so much affected. Like nowadays, the cold is increasing. So we are so much affected. In Delhi, the pollution has increased. So people are so much affected by this because of the level of pollution increase in the air. The lifespan is reduced and people are not able to breathe, and there are so many issues which are happening. So therefore, uh, we should understand that we are completely dependent on Krishna. If Krishna wants, in seconds, everything can be finished. Seconds. If they gave me one earthquake, there can be one tsunami, or anything happen. There can be a bomb blast, and everything can be finished. Or there may come some violent protest in the country. Anything can happen. Because of Krishna, it's all sustained, and nothing is in our control actually. In a whole lifetime, what we try to do is control different living entities which are in our care. Like a husband tries to control his wife, the wife tries to control husband, or they try to control their children, or the parents control children try to control the parents, or vice versa. In any relation, we try to control. But ultimately, we should understand that we cannot control even our own life breath. We cannot control even, we cannot stop even taking breath for some time. So, how we can control other living is not possible. And therefore, our sustainer, our master, and not only a sustainer, but our master is also Krishna. So, we should serve him. And not only, he's also a witness. So, many times we do some wrong things and we think that nobody is seeing. Like, I know when we work in companies, sometimes what we say is we just take some paper here and there and think that we are using this for Krishna's service. So let us take without asking or something. So there, Krishna is also a witness. He is acting as a witness, as super soul. He's sitting and he's seeing what we are doing. And he's also the abode where we want to go, place, and the refuge also for everything. We can take refuge in him only. And also is the most dear friend. So in nowadays, when in the place where there are a lot of gadgets available, we are seeing that the people are more and more alone. As the technology is increasing, they are becoming alien to each other. The distance is increasing between the people, and they have so many friends on Facebook, but there is no emotions, nothing. Therefore, if somebody is in that situation, he can consider Krishna as his friend and can talk with Krishna at any time. And also, Krishna only creates, and after some time, he annihilates everything. So he is the basis of everything, and also is the resting place and the eternal seed. So eternal seed means we see that these grains and all the which are coming, it is through some seeds. From seeds the grain come, and from the grains again the seed arises. Somewhere it has to start. Like there are sometimes many questions people ask that the hen came first or the egg came first. So Krishna is saying the hen came first, and from the hen the egg came, or the seed came first, and from that things started. So there is end only here. Otherwise, there is no solution to these questions if we try to solve it on ourselves. But what Gati means the destination where we want to go, but the ultimate goal is Krishna. Although people do not know it, so people may not know that their ultimate goal is Krishna. It is like the prayers of Gajendra. So Gajendra was saying, I am offering prayer to the one who is most powerful, who is the maintainer, who creates this world. And like this, he was giving so many prayers, but he could not remember who is that Supreme Personality of God. And all the demigods were seeing that he's not calling me, he's not calling me, he's not calling me. So why should I go to hell? And ultimately, Vishnu went to help him in that distress situation. So, like Gajendra could not remember who the Lord is. So the people also do not know who the Lord is. And one who does not know Krishna is misled, and his so-called progressive march is either partial or hallucinatory. So actually, he cannot reach. Actually, he's thinking he's progressing, but there is no progress. There are many who make as their destination different demigods, and by rigid performance of the strict respective methods, they reach different planets known as Chandraloka, Suryaloka, Indraloka, Maharaloka, etc. But all such lokas or planets, being creations of Krishna, are simultaneously Krishna and not Krishna. So, in one way, they are Krishna because they are energies of Krishna, but they are not Krishna means literally it is not Krishna. So, in this way, we should understand this Achintya Bheda Tattva, that everything is coming from Krishna, but at the same time, it is not Krishna. So such planets being manifestation of Krishna's energy are also Krishna, but actually they serve only the step forward for realization of Krishna. To approach different energies of Krishna is to approach Krishna indirectly. One should directly approach Krishna, for that will save time and energy. For example, if there is a possibility of going to the top of a building by the help of an elevator, why should one go by the staircase, step by step? So everything is resting on Krishna's energy. Therefore, without Krishna's shelter, nothing can exist. Mm. Being situated in everyone's heart is the supreme witness. The residences, countries, or planets on which we live are also Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate goal of shelter, and therefore one should take shelter of Krishna either for protection for the annihilation, either for protection or for annihilation of the distress. So even if you want to get rid of distress, the only thing who can help us to get rid of Krishna, the distress is Krishna. No other person in this world can get us rid of all our distresses. So in this world, many people can claim that they can help, but whatever help they can give is actually temporary and only for little value. Like somebody is a eye surgeon, he can help us to restore our eye vision. But then there are so many other things where he cannot help. And therefore, we should understand that we can only take shelter of Krishna. And whenever we have to take protection, we should know that our protection must be a living force. Krishna is a living, supreme living entity, and since Krishna is the source of our generation or the Supreme Father, no one can be a better friend than Krishna, nor can anyone be a better well-wisher. So Krishna is the original source of creation and the ultimate rest after annihilation. Krishna is therefore the eternal cause of all causes. So Krishna is the origin of all creation. We know that from one of the expansion of Krishna, Kajasharugya Vishnu comes, from that Garbhodaya Vishnu comes, and from the Shirodashaya Vishnu comes. So Kajasharugya Vishnu creates all this universe, and Garbhodaya Vishnu went into it, and from his navel comes lotus fruit of the flower, and from which Brahma is born, and it's all this planetary systems, everything happens. So we know this that the original cause of all cause is Krishna. And after the annihilation, that is when the day of Brahma ends actually. So what happens? The bodies of all the living entities are taken off. and they again go into the stomach of Mahavishnu, where they sleep for the night, till the time again the next creation starts. So in this way, if we see in all the places, we are already dependent on Krishna. So therefore, Krishna is therefore the eternal cause of all causes. So if we are not able to understand why some things are happening with we, why some distress is coming in our life, or why some happiness is coming in life, then we should understand that He is the cause of all causes, and from Him everything is coming. And therefore, when the good things happen, then we actually are very happy. But when bad things happen, then we start questioning that why Krishna is doing with this us to us. But then also we should understand that Krishna is doing us so that we can get purified and go back to Godhead. So in all the cases, we should understand that Krishna is only one person who is helping us in all circumstances, and we should have complete faith in him. And in this way, we should go forward. So next verse. Tapami aham vasham nigrahanami utsajami cha amritam shaiva mrityucha sat asachaham arjuna. Translation, O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. So Krishna gives heat, and we know in the countries where there is no sun, people live most of life depressed. Uh, if somebody is in depression, actually, instead of taking so many medicines, what he needs is sunlight. Actually, if he walks in sunlight in the open air, most of the depression will go away. And therefore, heat is so much necessary for us that without heat, we cannot survive in this world. And then I withhold and set for the rain. So in the summer seasons, Krishna takes water from the land and he keeps with himself. And then in the rainy season, he again sends forth the rain. And Krishna is immortal. So we are mortal living entities, but Krishna is immortal. At the same time, is also death personified. So he's immortal, and at the same time, he can create death of all living entities. So both spirit and matter come from Krishna. They are both different energies of Krishna. And therefore, we should understand that even this material world can be used for Krishna because it is energy of Krishna. So everything should be utilized, everything should be used for the service of Krishna. Purport, Krishna by his different energies diffuses heat and light through the agency of electricity and the sun. During summer seasons, it is Krishna who checks the rain from falling from the sky. See, it is such a good signs that due to the heat and all, the water gets evaporated. But we should understand if it gets evaporated and it is saving the clouds, why does it does not fall at the time of the summer seasons? It only falls in the time of rainy seasons. In that fixed period. If we see nowadays, actually, the whole climate is so much changed dramatically. But if we see in general also, the timings are always fixed when the rain will come. It will be the rainy season only. Somewhere it may be some approx here and there, but overall the timing is fixed. That is the rainy season, this is winter season, this is summer season. So it is so much astonishing. The water is going up, but Krishna is holding that water. It doesn't fall down that time. It only falls down, the water comes out only in the time of rainy season. So Krishna is doing that, and then he gives unceasing torrents of rain also. So this year we saw how much rain was pouring. In some places, it was not just raining drops, it was raining like columns. And cloud burst and all we saw this year happening. So the energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life is Krishna, the Prana Shakti. And Krishna meets us at the end as death. So Yamaraji comes as death. And it is what Krishna is meeting us. So by analyzing all these different energies of Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna, there is no distinction between the matter and spirit. Or in other words, he is both matter and spirit. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinction. He only sees Krishna and everything. So this is the advanced stage where we need to reach, where we can see the Krishna in everything. So in the case of reversals also, when we can see Krishna, that will be the success of our life. In the case of each and every living entity, when we see Krishna and help that living entity to reach his potential or her potential, that is the best we can do. So since Krishna is both matter and spirit, the gigantic universal form, compromising all material manifestations, is also Krishna. And his pastimes in Vrindavan, as two-handed Samsons are playing on a flute, are those of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this whole manifestation is also coming from Krishna. It is Krishna. That is, it represents Krishna as it is one of the energies of Krishna. And therefore, everything in our life, we should try to connect with Krishna. Now, from verse number 20 to 25, demigod worship or pratikopasana is being mentioned here. So this verse 20 speaks of how we can attain heaven by piety. Traividyamam soma pahaputa papa yajneristva swargatim pratayante te punyam asadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly, purified of their sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. So there are some people who study the Vedas regularly and they drink this Soma juice. So they want to go to heavenly planets. And for them, there is nothing more than heavenly planets. So what they do is whole life they just get some punya where they go to heaven and then they enjoy and come back. So such people also are actually worshipping Krishna, but not directly, indirectly. And they just want to enjoy a better happiness. And to enjoy that better happiness in heavenly planets, they are ready to forego the happiness in this material world. So it is not that they want to forego this happiness in the material world for attaining Krishna or something, but only so that they can enjoy more. So it is like somebody is doing tapasya, somebody is doing yoga. Why? So that he gets a good body. Why does he want a good body? So that he can enjoy more. So that is the mentality here. And this mentality actually is not helpful for a devotee. And devotees should not try to enjoy in this material world. And anyways, if we see also, our body is not meant for enjoyment. It is just meant for tapasya. If somebody tries to enjoy, then what happens is it gets deteriorated very fast. And therefore, very important that we use it for the service of Krishna. So the word Traividya refers to three Vedas, Sam, Yajur, and Rig. A Brahman who has studied this three Vedas is called Trivedi. So one who knows three Vedi is called Trivedi, and one who knows the four Vedas is called Chaturvedi. And one who knows only two is called Dvivedi. So these are the different surnames which are given to today. Also, we see such people surname like this. So anyone who is much attached to knowledge derived from these three Vedas is respected in society. Unfortunately, there are many great scholars of Vedas who do not know the ultimate purport of studying them. There are so many scholars who have Vedas, uh, who read, who do so many things, but they don't know that the ultimate purport of studying them is Krishna. Therefore, Krishna declares himself to be the ultimate goal for Trivedis. Actual Trivedis take shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and engage in pure devotion service to satisfy the Lord. Devotion service begins with the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and side by side trying to understand Krishna in truth. Unfortunately, those who are simply official students of Vedas become more interested in offering sacrifice to different demigods like Chandra and Indra. By such endeavor, the worshippers of different demigods are certainly purified of the contempt of the lower qualities of nature and are thereby elevated to the highest planet system or heavenly planets known as Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, etc. Once situated on those higher planetary systems, one can satisfy his senses hundreds of thousands of inner times better than one on this planet. So, so many people are interested more in worshipping demigods. So, it is not productive, and the time taken is also very more, and the results are very meager. So, therefore, uh, we should try to please Krishna. And if somebody is doing not anything, so then he can actually and if he's doing deity worship or he's doing demigod worship, it's actually a bit okay. So if he has faith on us, we can try to tell him that elevate yourself further. Otherwise, uh, they can do what they are doing. So one important point is here. See, the enjoyment in the heavenly planets or the upper planets is thousands times more than this material world, and it is bit everyone desires that we want to go up, but ultimately you should understand that whatever enjoyment we can do there, our life is limited. Janma mritu jara vyadi dukkha doshan darshanam. So very soon we'll die, and all this opulence will come to an end. So therefore, one should rather try to go back to God in this lifetime rather than worshipping demigods and going to different planets and all, which is not necessary. It's an unnecessary burden for us, so we should try to avoid as far as we can. But at the same time, we should not instruct others who are demigods, who are the worshippers of demigods in different capacities, if we don't have that relationship with them. So that we should always try to avoid. Now, what happens to them? ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षणे पुण्ये मृत्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्मम् अनुप्रपन्ना गतागतानां काम लभन्ते गतागतं काम काम लभन्ते. So when they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their past activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. So, very important thing. They said it's Amar. Nobody dies in the uh, heavenly planets. So how does it happen is, till the time a person has some spiritual credits, he stays there. As soon as his spiritual credits are over, what is done is he is sent back to the material world. And therefore it is called Swarga Loka. Nobody dies there. Like I'll give one example. Suppose there is one hospital, and the hospital claims nobody dies in our hospital. So there are 500 patients. Out of that, 150 patients gets okay, cured, and they are when sent back. Another 150 are taking some medicines there. And another 200 patients, what happens is, as soon as something becomes critical, or they are about to die, or something major happens, what they do is they shift to another hospital. So now what happened? They are shipped to another hospital. So in this hospital, what it says, 300 discharged, 150 got cured, and 150 are taking treatment, but nobody has died. So now we may laugh at this example, but this is what happens in the Swarga Loka. That when the pious traits are over of the person, he's sent back to the material world. And before coming even to material world, it's called Bilwa Swarga, where he enjoys some 10,000 life, 10,000 years. It is like what else? Childar, some little bit punya is there, that also exhausts and then comes again to the material world. So an internal man will think, why to again go up, come down, go up, come down? Better directly go out of this universe and never come back. This should be what the internal person should think. So we don't want to go in the cycle of repeated birth and death. See, the lifespan may be increasing in the heavenly planets, but still it doesn't end. And we do not want an end to our life. We want an eternal life. And therefore, actually, if we see the time taken to go to heavenly planets is much more than the time taken to go back to Godhead. We can go back to Godhead much faster and easier rather than working here to go to the heavenly planets. So therefore, it's always a wise question that we should think, what are we doing in this life and why are we doing that? Purport: one who is promoted to the higher planetary systems enjoys a longer duration of life and better facilities for sense enjoyment. But yet, one is not allowed to stay there forever. One is not allowed to stay there forever. This is one important thing which most people miss. They are earning so much money every day, thinking that whole life they will live. Whole life they are making so many assets after assets after assets. But nobody is allowed to stay in this material forever. And therefore, one should not waste all his time in such endeavors. At the same time, one should not be irresponsible. And therefore, should utilize that as much time is required, and then other time should be utilized only for self-realization. One is again sent back to this earth upon finishing the resultant fruits of the past activities. He who has not attained perfection of knowledge, as indicated in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasta, or in other words, he who fails to understand Krishna, the cause of all causes, becomes baffled about achieving the ultimate goal of life and is thus subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planets and then again coming down as if situated on a Ferris wheel which sometimes goes up and sometimes goes down. So what is fairy wheel? We have seen that in so many chatras and all, or first before that in circus all. So there's a wheel which goes up and down. So in so many play games and all, in so many parks and all, what happens is the children sit there and they go up and down, up and down, up and down that fairy wheel. So this is what it is. So the purport is that instead of being elevated to the cycle of birth, instead of being elevated to the spiritual world, from where there is no longer any possibility of coming down, one simply revolves the cycle of birth and death on higher and lower planetary systems. One should better take to the spiritual world to enjoy an eternal life full of bliss and knowledge and never return to the miserable material existence. So better that one should take to the spiritual world and we should have this life of Satchidanand, eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. And why to return this material world? See, the material world, however glittering it may be, however best it may look, and however best facilities we have in this material world, best cars, best bungalows, best wife, best husband, best children, best parent, best job, best health, best wealth, best knowledge, everything best. Still, it's all temporary. It's all temporary. It's just time which is waiting. And within time, everything will be lost. Everything. Uh, and the time doesn't think much. The time comes, it will take away everything. These are just momentary things, that's all. And therefore, you should try to achieve the ultimate goal, which cannot be achieved by any other means. Rather than pursuing this mundane things, that doesn't mean that we should not work, but only work what is necessary. Not like now today's time, 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, and no time for oneself and for family members. Nothing like that. No, not needed. And now, what happens to person who does like this Ananya Bhakti to Krishna? Ananyas chintayonto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktana yogakshemam vahami aham. So we see LIC has this name Yogakshemam Vahamyam. So it comes from Bhagavad Gita, which they have taken. So what does it mean? But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, maintaining on my transcendent form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So Krishna is giving us assurance that if we worship Krishna with exclusive devotion, then what does Krishna do? He carries what we lack. And we all know that each of us has only limited capacity, but we lack in so many other things. And therefore, Krishna is promising here, is saying that I carry what they lack. And also, he preserves what we have. So whatever we have before, it is preserved at the same time. Uh, whatever we don't have, he gives, provide us. Purport, one who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day. Being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Shema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga, and when he becomes fully Krishna consciousness, the Lord protects him from falling down to miserable condition life. So, see, very important thing here. It is Krishna who has made all this arrangement for us to become his devotee. And it is Krishna who is protecting our devotion also, so that we may not fall down. On our, we don't have any strength. See this. Lord helps in protecting us from falling down to the miserable condition life. So it is Krishna who is helping us in every moment of our life. One who can understand this one thing, how Krishna is helping us in every moment in our life, then we can be truly grateful to Krishna that how he is protecting us, how he's giving us shelter. For us to make devotees, is making so many arrangements. He's helping us to meet a devotee. Somebody may give us a book. Somebody else may give us the mantra. Somebody else may help us to reach a guru. And like this, so many arrangements he makes. At the same time, he also helps us to sustain our devotional service. Who in this material world will do all these things for somebody? And therefore, we should rejoice. We should be grateful to Krishna that he has made all these arrangements. Now, what happens if we worship other devatas? So here Krishna says, Ye bhi anya devata bhaktya yante shraddhayanvita teyapi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods, who worship them with faith, actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they are doing so in a wrong way. So there are so many people who worship demigods or other gods. So actually they are worshiping Krishna only, but indirectly. Why? Because all the powers which the demigods have is also coming from Krishna. And therefore they are representing Krishna, and therefore the people are worshipping him, but indirectly. But persons who are engaged in the worship of demigods are not very intelligent. Although such worship is offered to me indirectly, Krishna says, for example, when the man pours water on the leaves and the branches of the tree without pouring the water on the fruit, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing the regulative principles. Similarly, the process of rendering service to the different parts of the body is to supply uh, food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated here as avidhipurvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. So Krishna is not approving that we worship demigods in any way or form, and therefore we should try to please only Krishna. And if we try to please Krishna, if Krishna is pleased, everyone in this material will be pleased. We don't have to work hard to please each and everybody. And therefore, actually, it is so easy and so helpful that Krishna is clearing our path and giving us the right direction so that our time and energy is saved, and at the same time, uh, we can reach to Him. Next, aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha na tutmam abhijanati na tumam abhijananti tatvena tas chavanti che. I am only enjoyer and master of all sacrifice. Therefore, those who do not recognize me, my true transcendental nature, fall down. But here it is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performance recommended in the Vedic literatures, but actually all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. So, if we see, there are so many sacrifices: Dashwamedha yajna, Putra Kameshti yajna, and like this, there are so many yajnas. So the yajna Purusha is Krishna, and all the yajnas are meant so that we can satisfy Krishna. So in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it's clearly stated that one should not only work for satisfying yajna or Vishnu, the perfectional form of human civilization, known as Varnashrama Dharma, is specifically meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifice because I am the Supreme Master. Less intelligent persons, however, without knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not a pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. So here, in this verse, Prabhupada says that uh, anybody who is there, who even has material desires, wants something here and there, he should not go to any other person but go to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kama udharadi tivrena bhakti yogena yenta purusha puman. That means akamo is if one has no desires. Sarva kamo is so many desires. Or moksha kami, he wants to get liberated. Whatever condition one may be in, he must go directly to Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Supreme Personality of Godhead is able to fulfill all desire of all the persons. And ultimately, when we go back to God also, but if one worships demigods, he'll be puffed up, he'll have pride, and then he has to go to the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, what is the destination of such person? It is written in this verse. Let's see this 25th verse. Yanti deva vrata devan pitriyanti pritrevata bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti mam yajino api mam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. So, it is not that if we worship anybody, we go to Supreme Personality, got it? No. Whomever we worship, we will go to that planet. So, purport, if one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following the specific Vedic principles recommended for that purpose, such as the process technically known as Dasha Purnamashi. The Dasha Purnamashi. These are visibly described in the fruitive activities portion of Vedas, which recommends a specific worship of demigods situated on different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Pita planets by performing specific yajna. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become a yaksha, raksha, or pisacha. Pisacha worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art and they think that this is spiritualism. But such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planet of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods, one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshiping the Pitas, achieve the Pita planets, or by practicing the black arts, achieve the ghostly planets. Why can the pure devotees not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? So we should be very confident that we'll go back to God in this lifetime only because we are worshipping Krishna. See, we may have a lot of anarthas, we have a lot of shortcomings, but as we saw in the last verse, Yoga Kshima Mahamiyam. So Krishna protects what we have and then he gives what we lack. So we should be least worried of that, and we should only, whatever we have, we should utilize it only for Krishna's service. In this way, our life will be perfect. Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live. And because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahma Jyoti. The Krishna conscious movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to God. So it is very simple. Just we should do some Nam Jap, and that also there are not much rules and regulations. And by just doing that, we can go back to God. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.